Hey everybody, let's get right down to it. Before we get to the news, or what happened on the news, or after the news, or during the news, I just want to bring you guys up to date a little bit. I got this today from Make-A-Wish. I don't know if this has anything to do with the donations that we gave them. I'm sure it helped out, whatever, but maybe we done this. I don't know. But anyway, a wish was granted for a 5-year-old boy named John. He has leukemia. And where was I? Somewhere on here where it tells what his, I don't want to read the whole thing, but it tells what his wish was. You know, everybody assumes you're in Florida that every kid wants to go to Disney World, which they do get their fair share, but not every kid wants to go to Disney World. I've seen it on here somewhere. Oh, here it is. It says, I wish for a playset. I'm not 100% sure, but they got him a playset, and the sign on it says John's Playset. And it looks like, if I can get this so you can see it, I know this is so professional of me, ain't it? Can you guys, I'm trying to get the focus, right here. That's his playset. That's what he wanted. So anyway, I'm overpowering the mic. Really? I ain't got my earphones. I didn't hear it. Hello, hello, hello. Sounds okay on here to me. Am I overpowering the mic for everybody else? But it might be in, I can turn it down. You guys tell me. All right, I turned it down quite a bit where I can't even hardly hear it in the headset now. Is that okay right there? Or is it still way too loud? Tell me, and I'll turn it down some more. Still too much? Good Lord, there's about as low as it'll go. Huh. Well, wait a minute. There's something wrong here. It shouldn't be that loud at all. I have never been this low on this setting. Never. Let me try something. It might be. You hear me now? I had to turn it back on the StreamYard. It had been shut off. There we go. I can hear like a wash. Hearing nothing. 10-4, 10-4. Am I okay? Am I too loud? Not too loud? A-okay? Everybody says A-okay? Joey says thumbs up. Kevin K says thumbs up. Dave Perry says thumbs up. Well, I have no idea what caused that, because all I did was take the audio processor and I just shut it off and turned it back on. I have no idea. Hear you now, but overmodulated. You're kidding me, because I can hear it in my headphones. It sounds fine. Wait a minute. Let me turn that off. How about that? If I turn that off there just a little bit, is that okay right there? A little too loud. Ron Pass says a little too loud. I'm about ready to end this. I'm not going to go through this. This is nuts that I'm here for 5 minutes asking how loud my mic is. Vic says perfect. Cindy says great. Go Eagles. Okay. Much better. Much better. Don't tell me if it's good. I just said it's not as crappy as it was before. It's fine. All right. I'm good. I'm going to leave it there. A couple of things that I wanted to talk about or bring up or give you my opinion about, because I don't take one side or the other, even though, you might think I do, but I don't. I just tell you how I feel about it, and then you can just take whatever you want out of it. The 91-year-old lady that got 5 years in prison, which I was kind of surprised by that. And the judge did make the statement saying that her biggest problem was not hitting the people, but was leaving the accident, and that's really what it was all about: hit and run with injury. But they turned her down for a furlough too, so she's not going to be able to talk to her daughter to work out arrangements because, she's 91, I think. 5 years in prison. The odds are she'll get out, say, in 2.5 with good behavior. That'd be my guess. And there's still a good chance she may not even make it out of prison. So she wanted to get those things done. I figured they would give her, a certain amount of time to do that. But they said no. I don't know about you guys, but I was a little shocked by that. I figured, oh my gosh, surely they'd let her do that. But no, I guess not. I guess they figure her daughter can visit her in jail to do things. And I don't know how you get papers signed in jail. I guess her attorney maybe can bring her stuff to sign. And all this, the attorney bringing papers, he's not doing that for the goodness of his heart. This is all money that maybe she doesn't even have. I don't know. So that's just too bad, because her daughter's not going to be able to bring certain papers to her. Bank ain't going to trust a stranger with your bank account to sign it over. They're just not going to trust her. I don't know how they're going to do all that, but that's just going to be a problem. And, she said, can't do it in jail. Well, yeah, I suppose they could, but I mean, they're just not going to give certain papers to just any willy-nilly person that says, hey, I'm her daughter, I want to take this to jail and give it to her. They're just not going to trust her. Her attorney would probably be the easiest way to get it done. He's not going to do that stuff for free, So I don't know. It's just a shame. It's a mess is what it is. It's a mess, and they got to deal with it. And the other thing was people have been concerned, about house prices here. They are leveling off and coming down in some cases, so, that's good. But that's probably nationwide. The other thing is our fees are rising. You heard it on this news. You heard it on last week's news. You heard it on this week's news. Last week's news, they were talking about the amenity fees being, $181 for new home buyers. That don't necessarily mean brand new homes. That means if you buy a home in the Villages, and that's your first home in the Villages, you're subject to that $181 amenity fee immediately. That, and then this week, what was it? The water bill. Yeah, they talking about having the water rate raised to 25% up in, I want to say maybe Marion County area up there. I'm not saying they will, but you see what they're doing. They're thinking, they're talking, they're working. And other than that, the other thing that really kind of starting to get on my nerves around here, nothing I can do about it, but what is it with all these foreigners running around down here driving cars on a passport? It just seems like that's becoming a trend. Every time you turn around, somebody from some country is being pulled over for driving a car with expired plates, no headlights, whatever the case may be, and then they find out the guy's from some country somewhere, and he hands the cop a passport. I don't know. I don't know what all the rules are about that, but that just seems to me that's a little nuts. They go into court or jail or whatever, he gets bailed out, $500 bail, he leaves. What happens to the car? Nothing's ever been reported about that. I'm assuming they impound that car, but I don't know that they do. And if they're not, I don't know why they wouldn't, because this last guy, I don't know if it was on this week's or next week's, because I got next week's done. He was arrested like 3 times around here. A foreign national for not having a driver's license 3 times. 3 times. And he got caught again. I just don't get all that. Yeah, impound those cars. That's what I said. In Indiana, I had a little record company. It wasn't nothing big, but we did. The hardest part about record companies, not the truck, it's not the maintenance, and it's not owning the truck, it's not the insurance or any of that. It's getting drivers that are willing to be 24 hours on call, 7 days a week. At any time, you might give them a call, or the police department give them a call to go get something. That's the hardest thing. Most drivers can't deal with that. They're up all day, they do whatever they're doing, and then all of a sudden they get this call at 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve to go pick up this car because they arrested a drunk driver and they need the car impounded. Drivers, it's just hard to find drivers to do that. That's why I gave it up, is because of that, because of drivers. But we impounded a lot of cars from drunk drivers. And the police would put what they called a hold on the car. And they gave me a paper at the time saying that I had a hold on this car. And I was not allowed to release that car without the release of the police officers. And how they got that was the owner of the car had to go in to the police station or the judge or wherever they went, and they got paperwork that released that car because they had what I wanted a copy of was a thing called proof proper. That means that they showed proper insurance, they had driver's license that were valid, and so on and so forth. They paid their fine, whatever it was. So then they get this paper to give me proof proper, and then I'd release the car. I don't know if they do that here. I'm just not aware of what every state does with that kind of thing. New York sending headliners. Yep, New York people are back. You can sure tell. And I don't pick on just New York people at all, because I've met a lot of people from New York down here. They're just super nice people, and they always treated me and Sue really well. But it does seem like around the wintertime, when everybody starts coming south, the New York people seem to shine. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because there's just so many of them here that it just looks like they're causing all the trouble, and they're really not, percentage-wise. Maybe they're really not, and it's unfair to pick them out, but that's what's in the headlines. I just read what's there, and so you hear them. Vic said he ain't been a New Yorker since 1984. He says, I'm out of here. I ain't never coming back. Thanks, Steve. That's nice of you to say. But, I've had people ask me about some of the different things we're doing now, because it seems like my channel's starting to lean a different direction, and it is. I want it to go a different direction. I'm not going to give up the Village's stuff. I'm just going to change some of the stuff that I do, because everybody's doing the same stuff, and I don't want to do it anymore. To be honest with you, I just don't want to do it anymore. So the news is something different. I wanted to do that. But of all the different things that I've done, the Village's news by far has to be the hardest thing to do. It just is. Because I'm trying to respond to what people want. I get emails all the time saying, I should do this, I should do that. Well, and I appreciate those, but sometimes people are just asking me like this is a full-time job. Like I don't do nothing but live here and do this all day long. And there's just some things, it's just, unless you know how to do this, it just takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. And I'm just not going to do it. But what I do here on this news, it depends on what I do and how I do it. I can do it probably in as little as one full day, or if I space it out, which is what I like to do, I do a little bit today, and I do a little bit tomorrow, do a little bit the next day, and then I piece it together to make one, I try to make it between 25 minutes and a half hour long, piece it together, and then upload it, It takes 3 days to go through all the pictures, pull them out. It just gets into a process. Someday maybe I'll just cut a video and show you exactly how to do that, but no, it takes about 3 days, and I'm going to keep doing it for a little while. I don't know how much longer I'll keep doing it, but I'm going to keep doing it for a little while. By the way, Wednesday Night Live is next Wednesday, don't forget. Those of you that like to come to that, it is next Wednesday. I've got 2 guests on this show. One guest is just very interesting about their lives and how they found this place. And then I have another guest that I'm going to leave it as a surprise, because I asked for this probably 2 or 3 months ago. I put it on the video saying, hey, if you guys, and I said something, I said, email me if you would be interested in either coming on the show or at least doing a pre-recording, and we'll show it during the show, something like that. And I said, we'll work it out. I said, because I think a lot of people would just like to hear your story. And I actually got a couple of people that emailed me, and this one here is another one. And so we'll see what they have to say. John says, got any predictions for the weekend games? John, if you watch my channel very much, I've said it before, I am not a sports fan at all. I like to watch stuff, and I like to play stuff, But as far as knowing stats, who's playing what's their record this year, I don't know any of that. My wife does. She's a sports fan here, really, not me. I'm always amazed by some of you guys' sense of humor. It cracks me up. By the way, I don't know what I done last month. I must have done something. I must have said something. I don't know. 2 Patreons dropped out of Patreon, and these are 2 members that's been in there for quite a while. They never sent me an email saying why or nothing. Generally they do, say, hey, I'm moving or whatever, so whatever, that's fine. But these 2 guys dropped out, and I never heard nothing from nobody. So I don't know if I pissed them off or what. And if I did, I'd like to know what I've done, when. Because, see, Patreon gets some stuff that regular YouTube don't get. And so maybe I've done something. I don't know. And then also, but I think I got this figured out. 40 YouTube members are gone. I lost 40 memberships since last month. Well, I got thinking about that. 40. And then I lost 2 Patreons. Man, what did I do? I think on the memberships, because I forgot thinking about it, a bunch of you guys out there, Jerry Bell bought a whole bunch of gifted memberships and gifted them out. Phil B gifted a bunch of them out, and I'm thinking there was some others gifted out by somebody too. And I don't know how many you guys gave out, but I'm thinking you gave out a lot. And it looks like maybe you gave out 40. And I think that monthly membership for them is run out. And they just chose not to renew it, so to speak. That's what I think happened there. That's okay, because all that money went to the Kids Wish Foundation anyway. Billy Bob, Skip is not a morning person. I'm not. I'm not an early riser. I've always said that. I don't play golf at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would not make a great fisherman, because most fishermen want to get up before the sun rises to get to their spot. I am not, no. But I will tell you, not today. Today's Friday, so it'd be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I was up every day by 8:30 in the morning because of the RV, I think. Yeah. Really? Well, one day was because of the RV. I had to take it over to the shop, and I had to be there at 9 o'clock. I can't remember what the other 2 days were for. Oh! Romaldo was coming early to wash my driveway, and I had to be up for that. And then the next day, they showed up early to reseal everything, and I had to be up for that. And then the day after that, I had to take the RV in to have the slides look at. I had a slide that's not working for some reason, and I'm not messing with slides. So, yeah, had to do all that. So today, I slept in. I got up at, I think it was around 10 o'clock, 10:15. Late night trucker. I've always been that, and I think it stuck with me, that even if you watch my RV stuff, I don't post all of it, but I did post some of it, because I noticed on a lot of other people's RV channels, they don't post much nighttime driving, probably because they don't do any. Well, I do. I prefer driving at night because, especially if I'm in an area that I'm very familiar with, there's nothing I really want to see. I've already seen it all. And to drive on I-10 over to, say, Texas, I've been that way 50 times. I know about where I'm going to stop. I know about where I'm going to get fuel, and so on and so forth. And so if I can drive it more at night, I'd rather do that, because it's just easier to get in and out of gas stations. There's no traffic in there, things like that. So, yeah, I do drive a lot at night. But now if I'm in an area that I'm not familiar with and haven't been there, then I'll do daytime driving so I can see what's going on. So anyway, I started videoing a lot at night, showing driving at night on the RV channel. And I don't know, I just want looking at it just to see if there was any response, watching the view count on that. It don't seem any better than it does in the daytime, I don't think. No, that's not it, William. It ain't the slides. It ain't the rollers. It ain't none of that. I have no power on that one slide. When I first started to move it, one side of the slide would start to go out, the other one would go out, and then I got about halfway out and it hung up for something. And I brought it back in. And then when I went to put it back out to see, trying to get an idea of where it's hanging up for what reason, because it never did that before, all of a sudden I hit the button, I got no power at all. Nothing. So when I look under the slide, where there's a compartment door, storage door area, each slide has a small computer box in that storage box directly underneath the slide. And that computer box regulates the motors on the slide. There's 4 motors per slide, sounds like you already know. 2 of those motors runs clockwise, 2 of the motors run counterclockwise, depending on what side they're on. And this computer box regulates that. And there was a wire hanging off of it. I don't know where that wire goes. You can't tell by looking at it. So I said, that's it. I'm taking it in. I'm not messing with it. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they'll take care of it. Well, good luck to you, wrestler. That's all I got to say. You go ahead and come on down here at 5 a.m. You can bring your tent. You can camp out on the front yard. Oh, the other thing on the news that I want to talk about, that don't want this to sound like this is some kind of a drug city, but that little thing that guy was reporting about, somebody sold marijuana that he got at a pharmaceutical. No, he arrested the guy. That's what it was. And he had one of them bottles that they put the marijuana in, and it didn't have his name on it. I'm going to tell you, I don't think that's that unusual. He just one of them they caught, because these guys that's got that medical marijuana certificate from their doctor, whatever it's called, I don't think there's a limit. I haven't really asked. I know a couple of guys that do that. But I don't think there's a limit on how much you can buy. I think it's. I could be wrong. There might be certain things that's limited and other things are not limited. But I know that the guys that go up there, one of them even asked me, "Hey, I'm going to go up there and get me some marijuana suckers or anything I can get you." I said, "Nah, that's all right. 6-pack of beer does me good." But that's their business. I don't care as long as they don't drive while they're doing it. That's all thing I've ever said. So I think that goes on. A guy buys stuff for other people because he's got the license to do that. And I don't know if that's the same type of marijuana. Somebody said it was. Somebody said it wasn't. Another guy said, yeah, it has that, whatever's in it, THC oil or whatever's in it. It does, but it's not near as strong. These guys know about this stuff. I don't. And so I don't know what it is or anything, but yeah, people buy, people sell. Remember years ago, in Indiana anyway, it was a deal that they found out that a lot of people was applying for food stamps, which I guess is part of welfare, and then they would sell that food stamp card that had how many amount of money on it, $500, whatever they got. They would sell that to somebody else and then get the cash and then use that cash to go buy drugs. And there was a big sting years ago about that. Laura just got home from work. Well, at least the roads are clear. You live around Chicago, right? So, well, I keep hearing about this snowstorm going through. I saw it on the news again today. They showed jackknife trucks and everything else. Cindy says they need to legalize. I've said the same thing. Marijuana is really kind of a bullshit drug anyway. It really is. Just legalize it, just like you did beer, and tax it, and then just let everybody know that they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen. That if you get caught doing it when you're driving, I think the thing that's really kind of slowing them down on something like that. If you ever notice whenever they pull you over and they suspect that you've been drinking while driving, they got this machine or whatever that make you blow through it and tell you exactly what your alcohol blood level is. they don't have anything, I don't believe, that the police officer can say blow into this to see if you have some kind of like marijuana or something like that in your system. They just assume, so they arrest you on a DUI because they suspect that you're under the influence of something. KM says driving, only listening at a stoplight. Well, the audio must be pretty good. She's listening to us. Dale says he's talking to the TV, so he must be disagreeing with me. It's okay. William says, ossifer. Yeah. I'm not as stink as you drunk I am. Yeah. Yeah, that's the old thing, ain't it? Or been drinking? Well, I had, how many? 2 beers. That's what it is. 2 beers. Yes, I don't know, totally agree with you. It just, I don't know, I just see this commonsensical thing that we don't seem to have anymore. Just common sense. And everybody keeps talking about rights. What rights? The only rights you have is the rights that are given to you. And I don't know anything that says you have the right to smoke marijuana. There's no right. Where's that in the Constitution? You got no right to smoke marijuana. Just like you really don't have a right to drink alcohol. They proved that when they had prohibition, when they took it away from you. Of course, that didn't work, as we all know. But I'm just simply saying, if you can't get rid of something and you can't police it, just figure out a way of at least profiting from it. I mean, marijuana is a bullshit drug. It doesn't lead to anything. You know, I know what the old things was, but it doesn't lead to anything. And because I know people that smoke marijuana and eat the marijuana suckers and all that. And it doesn't lead to nothing other than stupid, laid-back conversation, let me tell you. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah. What? Karen says, just got done with the news. So you've seen our local government here said no to freezing the amenity fees for reasons that they can make up. I thought freezing it for a few months to help elderly people up north would be a good idea, but apparently they don't see it that way. Phil says marijuana leads to weight gain. I think so, because people, I don't know, but people always tell me that when they take this stuff, they get the munchies to, I guess, eating anything. Okay, not really. Was you lying to me? Oh no, Keystone, what are we talking about here? I got to follow this up. Says, where's it go? It's going up. I don't see no more. Karen, I'm lost in your conversation. Oh, here we go. Just got done with the news. And then Karen says, I do, John. And then she says, okay, not really. I don't know. Carol says, I like your news. You don't pull any punches. Well, I don't give any punches. I'm just reading the news. That's it. I don't write it. I'm just reading it to you. I'm sitting here reading you a paper. And the only thing different is I'm showing you the pictures that I see in the paper. It's an internet paper. It's called thevillagesnews.com. You can go there, pay $25 a year, and get it sent to your email. I mean, you can see exactly what I'm seeing. And you probably even get it a little bit earlier that way. But other than that, I mean, I give my opinion once in a while. I'll stop and I'll go, well, wait a minute. And then I'll say something. And when I do that, that's just my opinion. That's all it is. And you can listen to it, and if it makes sense to you. But like these patio villas that they're selling, or that's going to be on next week's news. Anyway, it's an article in the paper about it. But I've been talking about this for years, saying when you buy a home, brand new homes, you don't much have to worry about it. But it's the pre-owned homes. You buy a pre-owned home, and there's been a lot of things done to pre-owned homes. There always are. New trees, new landscaping. Maybe they added on to the lanai, whatever they've done. put a swimming pool in the backyard. First thing you want to make sure before you put your name on the dotted line of buying that thing is make sure that all of that is in compliance with your deed restriction. If not, all it's going to take is one neighbor to make a complaint, and you're the new kid on the block and they don't know you. And you're going to have to pay $50,000 to have that swimming pool taken out of your yard because it's too close to the property line or something. I'm just saying, because once you sign it, all these patio villas that they're selling down here, if you go buy them, you see nothing but rock all the way around them. They put rock everywhere. Tear the grass out and put rock in. And they have their reasons for it. And I'm not saying I disagree with their reasons. It makes sense to me. But it doesn't make any difference what I think. It's deed compliance says no rock can be used in patio villa areas, except as an accent, a little bit of rock for looks, not the whole yard. And people are complaining because now they're being told they got to tear all that rock out and have new sod put back in. And the excuses are, well, that's the way it was when I bought it. Or, well, it's been that way for 20 years and nobody said anything. You're the new kid on the block. And all that and excuses don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just trying to protect you guys from all the money that it could cost you, that's all. So don't be defending the wiener dog. Who is defending the wiener dog? What was your CB handle? Me? Grumpy. Just like my email. Some guy give it to me. It used to be something else. And we was going down the road and I was giving him a hard time. Really was. I was just giving him a hard time. I like the guy. I used to pick on him all the time. We both went to Columbus, Ohio at the same time every night. The only thing is he stayed there to work a little bit and I turned around and went home. And so I'd follow him or he'd follow me. We'd talk on the CB. We never did it on 19. That's the Truckers channel. We always went to some other channel and we would talk amongst ourselves. And I was just giving him a hard time. Well, apparently somebody out there in CB land at a base station was listening to us going down the road. And she got on the radio. She says, she said, that one guy sounds like a real asshole. She's talking about me. He spoke up. He goes, yeah, that's why they call him Grumpy. And I don't know why, but from that day forward, that's all he ever called me. And then other guys heard him say it, and they started calling me that. And so next thing you know, everybody was calling me Grumpy. And so when I came down here, I just kept it for my email address. Well, I guess I'm about done here. Be based on the number of people in the household. No, it's not based on the number of people. It's just your property. Every property pays so much. And the idea of guests, that was brought up. Who mentioned that about the household? William Bush. It's just like the guest. It had been proposed several times in the past few years that they're saying that residents here should pay for guest passes if the guests are going to use our swimming pools, or if you're going to take your guests to a golf course to play some golf or tennis or pickleball or one of the 101 things. They're saying that we should start charging them for the guest pass. I personally don't see that. I can understand where they could to hold our amenity fees back a little bit, but I just don't see that because I don't know. There's just something about that. It just doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound friendly for Florida's friendliest hometown. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a big fan of that, but I know it's been proposed many times. But other than that, no, it's so much per house. I'm still trying to find out who's defaming the wiener dog. Somebody said something. John asked, who has top secret documents hiding behind their golf carts? You notice how all one-sided that is? Boy, when one person does it, oh my God, bring out the army to go check everything out. The other guy does it's like,
Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll talk. We'll see what's going on.
Said no other YouTuber tells how. Well, I just tell you how it is. That's all. You know how it is down here. I mean, it's a fun place. It's a great place to live. There's a lot of things to see and do. If you like to get out and do things, there's a lot here to do, or you don't have to do anything. I don't do as much as I used to, because I've been here enough times now where the idea of I don't go to the pool all that much, and I really enjoyed going to the pool. And the reason why I don't go to the pool that much has nothing to do with people, is I don't know, I've got a disease, I guess, where I've lost almost all the pigment in my body. So I have nothing that protects me from the UV rays. And if I'm out in the sun, not very long, I start to turn deep red quick. And I woke up the next day with blisters all over. And it hurts. So I just stay away from the sun. And by staying away from the sun means I don't golf. I don't go to the pool. I don't go down to the squares unless it's dark. That kind of thing. So I get accused of a lot of stuff, but that's really the bottom line of it.
William Bush, they are called real estate agents. Compliance inspector could be...
You're right, Cindy. I've said that. As far as I know, there's nobody here you could call. You know, you can call for a home inspection. They got 101 home inspectors around here. They fill out these forms to make it look like they've done something. But there's nobody here, as far as I know, that has a business where you can say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this piece of property. Home inspector's going to be there Monday. Can I get you to go out there and go around the house and make sure that everything is within deed compliance? And that means they not only have to make sure that you're within what your deed restrictions are, they have to go to ARC to make sure anything that you've done to that house to add on to that house has been approved by ARC. Because one thing I know about the Architectural Review Committee, they take it very unkindly if you do something without their permission. If you're supposed to get their permission and you don't, I can almost give you a 100% guarantee your plea is going to go through one ear and out the other. They're going to make you tear it out, put it back to normal, and then they're going to tell you this is a slap in the face. Now, apply to the ARC for approval to put that back in if you want it. That's what they're going to do. I'm trying to catch up with what you guys are saying about something. Uninsured motorist premiums get to me on my auto insurance. Uninsured. Yeah, I've got uninsured. Everybody's got to buy uninsured. I know what you're thinking. If everybody has to have insurance, why am I buying uninsured? Well, now you see why. Especially here. There's people here that just get a car and it doesn't belong to them. The license plate on the car doesn't belong to them. I don't know. I don't know how all that happens, but it happens. Dale says, what would you do if you didn't like the guy? Oh, he's talking to somebody else, I think, because I don't know what he's talking about. Description on fixing the hole. Oh, you mean where the water pipe broke? I know it. I'm not real good at it. You know, if I was real professional about stuff like that, I'd have a picture that I could bring up to show you what I'm talking about. But that stuff never really comes up all that much. And so I just try to explain it the best I can. A lot of these so-called sinkholes, now not to say we don't have them, we do. But a lot of these sinkholes that they're calling sinkholes really aren't sinkholes. They're just depressions, I guess. Sometimes they'll be in the middle of the road because there's a drain pipe down, I think it's down the middle of the road. And where the what do you call that, the manhole cover, you'll see it sunk in a little bit right there. And that happened on our street twice. The first year we was here, it happened twice in 1 year. And that's all because it was leaking, it was washing the sand away, and then the whole thing was just starting to sink a little bit. But they got it fixed. Barry kept talking about it. Do you see the sinkhole on Hillsborough? Do you see the sinkhole? We never had no sinkhole. Well, William, yeah, that can be a problem where mom and dad comes down here, and then they have like I don't know, a 25-year-old son and a 30-year-old daughter, and they're all living there together. To me, I don't know. I got my feelings about it. Sometimes I refrain a little bit of what I really want to say because I know I'm just going to probably tick a ton of people off. Apparently, after losing 40 members on my YouTube members, I've already done that. But they're kids. The rule here is 19 years of age and older can live here full time. If they're under 19, they're allowed to stay 30 days per calendar year. And that's pretty much throughout all the villages. And if anybody's breaking that, and if you know that they are, all you got to do is report it, and they'll check it out. We've never had a problem with that here in my area, but I can't speak for all the other areas either. Matter of fact, when we do have a guest coming down, no matter who it is, Sue has a way, and you guys probably all know how to do this. I don't, but some of you that maybe don't know, you can get your guest passes or fill the information out for your guest pass on the computer, and then you just go down to your regional rec center. I think you have to tell them what regional rec center you want them to go to. They print them off. And then you just go to your local regional rec center next time you go by there and just go inside and pick them up. You don't have to wait in line or anything. And that's what we do, especially if they've been here before. Apparently, if they've been here before, Sue says it's even easier because they've already got all that information. But I can tell you this, ain't going to be no kids living with me. We spent our life raising them kids and raising half our grandkids. We're done. We're not raising anybody's kids. Well, Ira could do all that. He knows how things are done here. I mean, Ira worked here, Vic. Gosh, I don't even know how long, but a long time. I'll say 20 years as a real estate professional here. He sold a lot of homes for the villages. And I had a couple other friends that actually worked for him also, real estate agents, and they all quit. And I knew then, I said, there must be something going on for all these people that's been here all this time and quitting. Well, they just started doing things differently, I guess. I'm not sure what they did. I'm not sure what they changed. But usually when somebody quits like that, it's because somehow, some way, they cut their pay. And I'm guessing here. I don't know. But if they were getting, say, 6% commission to sell a home, and then the guy comes in and says, you know what, you guys sell 10 times more homes here than you will anywhere else, and that's probably true. We're going to cut the commissions back to 3.5%, and that would probably make a lot of guys walk away. And I don't know if that's the case for all of them. I don't know, but I know that Tim Andrews quit. I know Ira quit, and a couple other ladies that I know quit. And one of them told me, though, she said that they were hiring so many people down there. I guess at one time they were just hiring everybody to sell homes. That she said it was almost a fight. They were stepping over top of one another all the time trying to sell homes, to show the house to the first person, the second person, the third. They had black books where they were calling people to get something sold before you, and they just got tired of that hustle, and they just went to work elsewhere. There's 101 real estate companies around here, but the only problem with that is, and they can still make a good living though, is that if you want to buy a brand new home, as anybody here that lives here will tell you on the chat right there, you have to do business with the Villages Real Estate Company. They're the only ones that can sell a brand new home. Nobody else can. So, it's kind of that catch-22 thing.
Well, John, that's okay to bring your kids down and make sure they liked it before you bought. But let me ask you a question. The first question comes to my mind. Seriously. What the hell do you care if your kids like it here or not? They don't live here, you do. The question would be to me, do you like it? Do you enjoy it? You and your wife, I assume you're married, you having a good time? Do you like it? That's the reason to buy. I wouldn't buy any place because my kids liked it or didn't like it. See, there's Phil. He's typing in foreign words again that I can't understand. It looks German, but I wouldn't swear to that. Well, Karen, I do too. You always say that, so I hope the kids never have to move in. I do too, but you know, I am sympathetic to a lot of people here because I've seen it personally. When you get to a certain age, something happens, and you need somebody to help out for a while. And so, you know, you got a daughter that's retired or doesn't work or whatever the case may be, and so they come down for several months maybe and to kind of help you pass something. And so that's not my problem. I've never had a problem with that, ever. My problem is the kid that's 23, never had a job, or whatever the case may be. And, you know, he's just a goofball. And he has drug problems. He steals stuff all the time. You've seen it in the news once in a while. Those are the ones that I'm saying, what the hell are you doing here? He should be out there making a life for himself. He's not going to make no life in here for himself. You like that, do you, Joy? I started doing that, I'm going to say maybe a month ago. I was just sitting here one day, truthfully, and I was watching the news wind up on regular TV, and I noticed before the news, they done that. I'm looking at that going, I should start doing that. So I started doing that. There's not interested in gyms. Well, we don't have any gyms here. Bill, William, Bush. I mean, they have exercise centers inside some of the recreation centers. Mostly, I think the recent rec centers have like some exercise, gymnastic kind of stuff in there. But that's not part of the villages. That's not part of your amenities either. You have to pay a membership to go in there and use that stuff. I'm just letting you know. I don't do that either, but I had a friend that come down here, and he's a big believer, and he goes to the gym like every day. And he was asking me about it, and I said, well, they got one over here at Colony, and they got one down at Brownwood, that big one there was called MVP, I think. I don't know what it's called now because I heard they sold it. But anyway, down there. So he went, and I went with him. I was just curious. And he was talking to him about a membership and everything, and they were telling him all the different things that you get, the perks you get, and all this and that. You know, got a gym, and they got showers, and they got all this stuff. And he said, well, I'm only going to be here for a week. He said, can I buy a week's membership? And I forget where we were at, but they actually did. They prorated it somehow and gave him a card because the doors are all locked in there, but you get in, if you got a card, you can get in 24 hours a day. And he got a membership for a week so he could go to the gym. I don't know if they still do that, though, but I'm just saying he did then. And they used to have one in Spanish Springs. If you look at the square, the big building right behind the square is called, I think, the La Reina building. And next to that building is Gator's restaurant there. On the second floor of the La Reina building, up there at night, sometimes you can see them when they got the lights on. That's an exercise room up there. That's also not part of the villages. Yeah, it's a membership only. Well, they're going to move that from that second story up there at La Reina building, and that gym, whatever company it is going to move into the old movie theater building over there on the corner when they were to get around to remodeling that thing. William says the great thing about food is they have something for everybody. They sure do. I mean, they have something for everybody. Somebody's asked me, says, how many clubs do they got? And I said, good God, I have no idea what all the clubs are, but according to the last, I think, newspaper reporting that I saw, it was over 3,000. clubs. But the thing that they never talk about is those are registered clubs here. But every neighborhood that I know of has all kinds of activities that go on that's like a club, but it's like their own little group of things that they do. And like here in our neighborhood, the ladies have a thing called Margarita Monday, one day a month. And all the ladies in my neighborhood goes to this Margarita Monday thing. And I mean, there's a lot of them that go. And they also, I think one day a month, they have Ladies Cards Day. And they all get together and they play, I don't know, they say they play cards, but I see an awful lot of wine bottles sitting around. And they go to different houses, different weeks or whatever, to play cards. And so that's some activities that they do in our area, and they've done this for a long time. But you'll never see it posted on one of the village's clubs, because it's not one of those, like a pickleball club. But I know for facts that there's a lot of neighborhoods that has their own pickleball days that they all get together and they play, but it's not part of the activities that the villages, I think, sponsors. Yeah, I got that too, Rizzo. When I got my medical insurance, I got mine that I'm at the village's health system. So, I'm on the Advantage plan and United Healthcare. And they're always calling me. I will say one thing about it. They're always calling me, reminding me of things that I've got benefits in that I'm not taking advantage of. Like yesterday, they called, and Sue comes in here and she says, do you have a card that the United Healthcare sent you? I said, well, I've got my medical card. No, there's another card. I said, yeah, there is. I put it in my billfold, but I don't know what it's for. She said, let me see it. So I give it to her. Well, come to find out, they sent me a card that's got $75 on it. It's they give it to you. Well, we all pay for it eventually, but they give you this card. And that $75 can be used at any CVS, Walgreens, whatever, to buy any kind of medical supplies we might want to get. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, Band-Aids, whatever. So I gave it to her. I didn't know what it was for. I don't keep track of that stuff. But they always call. They called here about a month ago and said, you have so much money I can use to help purchase hearing aids. I said, yeah, I knew I had something, but I didn't know what it was. And she was explaining it to me. She said, you really need to take advantage of that because you used to wear hearing aids, right? I said, yeah. She said, why don't you wear them now? And I said, because I lost one of them, and I can't wear just one hearing aid. You got to have them both. Well, you should go down and see about getting a new set of hearing aids. That's a part of your benefit. And I've never done it. But I will say one thing. They do call. I mean, a real person calls on the phone, and they keep an eye on what you're doing and what you're not doing. Like, they know if I'm not taking my medicine like I'm supposed to. They wanted me to opt out of that mail it to your house every 90 days thing. There's something about that. And she was explaining it to me. This goes into the federal government rules and regulations of stuff. And I said, I don't care. As long as I get my pills, I don't care. So I did opt out of it. And if I don't take M pills regularly, she knows. It's probably on the computer. She knows the exact day I'm supposed to be running out of these things, and then I should have already called them to place an order for another 90-day supply, and if I haven't called, they're calling us. I don't know. I kind of find it nice knowing that if Sue's not here someday, that at least somebody out there is keeping an eye on my medicine. I can't say that, Billy Bob. I've been on the village's healthcare system now going on 9 years. And in 9 years, I think I paid a copay once to go up and have some kind of I don't know what you call it, where you go inside a tube and they x-ray the inside of your body somehow, some way. That I think I paid a $40 copay for that. I've never been to the emergency room. I know there's a copay for the emergency room. I went to a specialist once that they sent me to, and I think I paid a $35 copay for that. And that's been about it in 9 years. I have never paid a dime for any medicine or doctor appointments or anything. So I can't argue about it so far. That could change someday. Can I buy medicinal wine? I don't have to, Laura. Phil B takes care of me. Hey, that sounded like a poem. Phil B takes care of me. Call Phil B. Maybe he can take care of you. Sue's not on Villages Healthcare, John. She's outside the Villages. She has Florida Blue. That's Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida. And her doctor, her primary care doctor, is outside the Villages. And so whenever she goes in for treatments every 6 weeks or anything like that, that comes under that Florida, that Blue thing. And how much did she pay when she had her leg broken and stuff? I can't tell you. I don't know. You have to ask her on Wednesday Night Live if you want to, when we have that show, if she sees your question. Or maybe porch sitting probably better. Wednesday we'll probably be really busy with stuff. So porch sitting is probably time to ask her that. But I don't know. I'm going to say something that I know nothing about. I don't think she paid very much on anything because she pays for the Blue Cross and Blue Shield because of her treatments. That's where the money's at, not that broken leg. Her treatments are somewhere in the neighborhood. She used to get 3 of them a month, and they were something like around $10,000 or $11,000 per treatment. Now she's down to 1 treatment every six weeks because this doctor said when you get older, you don't need to do it as much. And I think she told me that it's down to something like, see, I'm going to say something and I'm going to be wrong. I want to say she said somewhere around like $8,000 or $9,000 every 6 weeks now. That's where the money's at. So she went to Blue Cross and Blue Shield because under Medicare plans to where they had it set up, we fell in the donut hole every January. And if you don't know what the donut hole is, you need to find out because it'll cost you a $4,000 check every year. So we went to Blue Cross and Blue Shield because at $250 a month, it's almost like taking the donut hole and financing it for the year. And then they pay for everything, but we still got to pay the $250 a month for the insurance. What's Jerry laughing at? Did I miss something? Is Jerry laughing at me? Oh, so Skip, you work out the MVP? Oh, that ain't happening. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to no exercise place. It would be possible if he wanted to pursue it. Oh, Phil's just being nice. He knows I ain't doing that. So now that you gave up golf, what is your favorite activity? Well, actually, get right down to it. Doing videos right here has turned to, for me, and the things that we're doing, this has almost turned into a full-time job. See, what you see on the screen that takes 15 minutes for you to watch, it may have took me 2 or 3 days to go video it, bring the stuff home, download it, upload it, edit it. It's a process. And so, yeah, and I got this channel, I got the RV channel, I got Patreons that I give them a lot of special stuff that you don't see. I got my YouTube members that I try to give them special stuff. So between those 4, I'm just busy doing this all the time. And then I have problems all the time. Like on Wednesday Night Live, something will go glitchy and I can't figure it out. Or just like when I started this, everybody said my audio was really too loud. And everything was set the way it's always been set. I didn't do anything. And I don't know what causes that. I'm not an audio guy. I'm not an electronical guy. But when they say there's something going wrong, my quick fix to everything is unplug it and plug it back in. That seems to work most of the time. And motorhoming. I like to motorhome around. So last year we went from here. We meander. I don't plan a route. I don't have schedules on a route. I don't do any of that. We just meander. And I meandered to California, San Diego area. It took me approximately 2 weeks to get to California. And then we went from there. I stayed there for a while. LA area, San Diego area. We was there for a week. And then we moseyed up to 40 and cut across somewhere around past Lake Havasu area. I forget exactly where, but anyway, we got off the main highway and started getting on these side roads, and we took a catty corner cut all the way from there, literally all the way over to Mobile, Alabama, just north of Mobile, Alabama. I'm not even sure what road we took. But that's what we do. We just meander around. Oh, by the way, for you RVers that don't know, if you haven't seen it in the paper yet, I've been told about it 3 or 4 times now. They are building a new Buc-ee's just north, I think, of Ocala. So that means there'll be a Buc-ee's there. I'm looking at my trip going up to Indiana in the motorhome. There'll be a Buc-ee's there. That's my first fuel stop. Then there's another Buc-ee's just south of Macon. Then there's another Buc-ee's just north of Atlanta. Then there's another Buc-ee's if you stay on 75. It's up there in Kentucky. I can't think of the mile marker right now, but it's up there. And as far as I know, that's it to going on into Indianapolis. So, yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing. John says, why to Texas in March? I've been going down to Rockport, Texas now. This will be, I think this is our 4th year going down there for the month. March is a good month down there. It's not hot. It's not cold. The humidity's good. It's windy. Every time I'm down there in March, it seems like it's always windy. But hey, it's next to the sea or the ocean or the Gulf. So yeah, it's always going to be windy. But it's just an easygoing kind of town. I don't know how to put it. It's just an easygoing kind of town. It's not all the hustle and bustle like you have here, where everybody's in a hurry and too much cars on one road. And down there, it's just a whole different world that I saw. That can change, because I can tell that this town has got a lot of area that can be built, and they were building when we left last time, so that could change. Aransas Island, is that what it's called? Aransas Island is across the bay right there. We go over there quite a bit to the beach, and a lot of stuff over there to see and do, restaurants and stuff. It's a touristy area there. But yeah, for a month, it's a good break. Because when I get out of here this time, there's a real good chance you're not going to see nothing on this channel for a month. Because I think I'm just suffering burnout. I'm just tired. I'll do maybe some live stuff there, because I don't have to edit none of that. You know, like the idea of doing porch sitting here. People seem to like porch sitting, and I don't mind doing that, neither does Sue. We might be able to do it there, but I'll just do it from the front of the camper. So it's a picnic table, and we'll just live porch set if I have decent internet. And that's the problem down there, is internet. We'll see. Starbucks. I don't think they have a Starbucks down there at Rockport. At least they didn't have. I'll have to Google it and see if they do, Phil. But if they have a Starbucks, yeah, that'd be the thing to do, is go down there and sit outside with a cup of coffee and do it there. But I don't think they got a Starbucks there. It's over at Corpus Christi. But that's 30-some miles away. I'm not driving over there just to do porch sitting. Well, I'm already burned out, Laura. I'm here to tell you, I'm already burned out. You know how you can tell? You get this I don't give a shit attitude. That tells you right there you're getting burned out. Because used to, I gave a big shit. And now I'm getting to the point where I just don't. Rances Pass, that's it. Well, wait a minute. See, there's a lot of Aransas stuff. There's Aransas Pass, Aransas, I think, Island. There's the town of Aransas, and there's an Aransas Ferry. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. How many likes have I got so far? I want to see. I can't even tell, can I, on this? I don't even know. I can't tell. 118 people watching, but no, I have to wait until it's over before I can see how many likes we got. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like or the thumbs up. Is the thumbs up the same thing as the like button? I think it is, but I'm not sure. Somebody asked me that one time. I said, I don't know. I don't pay no attention to it. Hey, but the weather was nice today, wasn't it, Phil? I think it got like to 81 today. Sunny, a little bit of a breeze. Good. Well, thanks, Marjorie. I know. I get over it. I get this way once in a while, and then I don't know. I'll just get a resurgence of energy and just keep moving on. But I'm thinking real serious on the month of March, so I'm just going to take I'm not going to put as I got to start putting stuff on the. Hey, Billy Bob, member for 1 month. Thank you, buddy. On the RV channel, I haven't really put hardly anything on there since we got back from Rockport. When was it? April of last year, I think it was. I think that's the last trip I made, wasn't it? April of last year. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, it's been sitting there for quite a while. So I've been getting things ready to go. I've already called the tire place, and they're going to order my Michelin tires when I get ready for them. They said they give them overnight. They overnight them, I guess. Nobody around here sells Michelin tires. I don't understand why. And of the few tire companies that probably do, I've called them. They won't put tires on a motorhome. I don't know why. They just won't do it. So I've got to go to a place called Wildwood Tire and whatever it is. And it's over here at the corner of 301 and 44. I already called him. And he gives me all these tire names that they sell. They got them in stock. I said, well, I don't know any of them names. I like brand name stuff like Goodyear, Michelin, blah, blah, blah. And I told him what I had. He goes, oh, he said, I know what you got. He said, you'll probably want to get Michelin. I said, well, that's what's on there now, and I'd like to kind of stick with it. He said, I can get them for you. I said, how long does it take you to get them if I have to order them? He said, tomorrow. He thought I meant when I've had him on the phone, like I wanted them right now. I said, oh, so you can get them overnight? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, well, they got my motorhome down there now. I said, as soon as they call me and tell me it's done, I'm going to call you and tell you to order them tires. So that's what I'm going to do. I didn't ask how much. It ain't going to make no difference. He's the only one in town here that says he'll get me my Michelin tires. I called Walmart because I know they can sell them. They won't put them on a motorhome. I called Sumter County Tire. They won't put them on a motorhome. I don't get it. Everybody's saying Night Vic. Is Vic leaving? He's out. I see it. He's out. Vic is out. William's got a 40-foot fifth wheel. Fifth wheels are nice. If I had my choice of whatever I wanted now, if I had a decent truck and I don't want to go out and buy one, it would probably be a fifth wheel because they're more of like a real home inside, if you get what I'm saying. I like the idea of a motorhome for a lot of different reasons. I've always had motorhomes, not always, but here lately, the last 6 different RVs I've had has all been motorhomes. The last one was a Class A. This one is a Class C. Some people call them a B+, but actually the insurance says there is no such thing. It's a Class C. It's okay. So, and it's okay. Don't get me wrong, it's okay, and we don't do anything full-time, so I don't need some big monstrosity thing, like a Prevost to go out once in a while. But I kind of missed... Hey, thanks, Billy Bob, for the $2 super chat. Wait a minute, I got it here somewhere. I got it here, man. Hang on, I'll bring it up. There you go, Billy Bob. Your name is in lights. Thanks, buddy. So anyway, I missed a Class A in the room about it and everything, but I haven't done anything because, I think it was Laura told me once. She said, what I've got is paid for. I know what it is. Just keep it. I think she's right. So I just keep it. And it's not there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I just kind of miss the roominess of a Class A. But sometimes parking a Class A is not as easy as parking a Class C. And, nowadays it seems like everybody likes those, I don't know what you call them. They're like a big van on the Mercedes chassis, the Sprinter chassis. Man, those things are selling like hotcakes, it seems like. And the price on them, whew, I don't know why, but man, those things are expensive. I got 124. See, there's a lag here. Either a lag for you or a lag for me, I'm not sure. Okay, well anyway, I'm sure Marathon is beautiful. That's where Rizzo's at. He's down there. You guys don't know that he bought a northern home to get away from that heat down there. So he bought a house up here in the villages. This is his northern home to get out of the heat. Yeah, Linda, that's what she bought. She bought a Class B. She brought it over here from California when she came back, a couple months ago. And it's nice. There's nothing wrong with them at all. They're nice. And I will say one thing about it. You can tell when you go in it, it's quality built. Very, very much quality built. And that's probably what you're paying for. Plus Mercedes, But my God, my cousin bought one. And I think he told me, and he don't have the one that Linda's got. Linda's got the one that was built in Canada. And it's got all the stuff on it, so even in the winter, it's got I want to say double pane glass, all these things you normally don't get. And his it's not that, it's just another brand. But I think he told me his was $155,000. I think, is that just me? That's nuts. I remember a buddy of mine in high school had a shag van. You remember them, don't you? Just a van with a bunch of shag carpeting all over everything, and way back in the back was a bed. That was it. Updates on the murders? No, haven't heard anything. I watched the news cap every night to see if there's anything on there, and I haven't heard anything. Last I heard, they caught the lady that did it, and they haven't charged you with it, I don't think. I could be wrong about this. There might be some updates I missed, but last I heard, they charged her with stealing the car, but they hadn't really charged her yet with murder. They were investigating everything, but that's been a while back, so they may have charged her by now. I don't know. I haven't really asked Sue. She's been busy. She was gone all day today. And I think she got a doctor appointment. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Monday or something. I haven't really been bothering her. Kyle says, yeah, he hides out in the tiki by the pool. Who's that? It ain't me. I don't have a pool. Rizzo lives in Marathon. Oh, that's two different people. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. I see what it is. Hey, Carol. Thanks for a $5 super chat, Carol. Appreciate it. Really do. So it's good. You to deserve a nice vacation. It's just, we've started going down there. It's a little bit of a drive to get there. It's a little over 1,000 miles, I think. But that's why I like to leave early. It's because 1,000 miles, it might take me 4 days to get there. I don't get in a hurry. I just drive for a while, and we'll get gas somewhere, and I'll pull off to the side and make a bologna sandwich and a glass of tea, and then turn the TV on, and then I'm going to take a nap. When I get up, it's dark, and then I say, let's put in gear and let's go for a while now. So I don't get in a big hurry to go down there, and when we get there, we set up. I'm there for a month. I never used to go out like that. I'd go out for, at the most, I stayed somewhere, would be a week. That's it. And then I have to move on somewhere else. And we took a 6-week trip one time, and every day we were moving. If we stayed anywhere for 2 days, that was unusual. Yeah, but we day, pack up next day and go. Day, pack up next day and go. But by the end of the 6 weeks, that kind of wears you out. So the first time we went down to Rockport, I told Sue, I said, I'm going to stay down there for a month. And she was shocked too. She said, the whole month? I said, yeah, I'm going down for the whole month. I've never done that before. Well, I went down there for the whole month. And I don't know, I got to tell you, I kind of liked it. You get better rates for renting it for the whole month. I think our RV spot there with full hookup and everything is something like $510 for the month. And if you don't know anything about RVing, that's and we're like, you've seen the pictures, we're like almost walking distance to the Gulf. It's a good rate. And it's a nice park. Yeah, I kind of liked it and went back a second time. I liked it, went back a third time, and I think this will be our fourth time to go down there. I've been down there enough now that when I call them, they know who I am. Maybe I've been there too much. But thanks for that super chat, Carol. Appreciate it. We're heading Talladega. You know, a friend of mine, before he passed, that was his goal in life when he retired. I asked him once when we were still working. I said, what are you going to do when you retire? He said, I'm going to go to every NASCAR race there is in the United States. And he said it real quick. I knew he was a NASCAR race nut. He loved it. I said, every one of them? I said, how many can there possibly be in this country? Because I don't know. I'm not a sports guy. And he started rattling them off. January here, February there, March here. Go through all of them. I said, all that's in the United States? He said, oh, yeah. I said, you want to go see every one of them? He said, I think it'll take me about 3 or 4 or 5 years, to be able to go to all of them. But he said, I'm going to go to all of them. And I don't know if he ever made it, but I know he was damn sure working at it. Laura says, yeah, they are, Laura. Rental rates here in the summer is matter of fact, a lot of people that do rent their houses, because when I rent mine out, they don't even rent them out in the summertime because at that time the rents were so low that they didn't think it was even worth it. Because here's the thing, the rents go down in the summer to half or less to rent something, but to hire the company to come in and clean the house out before you get there, clean the house out after you leave, and all these little things, that price doesn't change. So in January, you could rent a house out for, I don't even know what they rent for nowadays. I don't. But at that time, I had a patio villa there by Lake Sumter Landing, and we got $32.50 a month for January, February, and March, those 3 months. April, it went down to, I want to say 25 is what I did. I can't speak for everybody else. I just know what I did. And then by May, I got to the point I wouldn't rent it out anymore. Because by the time you pay your light bill, pay your amenity fees, pay the trash pickup, pay the house cleaner to go in and clean it out when you leave and all this and that, I ended up making like $150. And for me, it ain't worth $150 for somebody to go in my house and wear the furniture out. You just ain't. So I just wouldn't do it anymore. And so that's when Sue would start coming down. May, June, July, August, September. October, I rented it out. October's a really good month to come down here. And he knew it. He was from Manchester, England. His name was Petey. His name was Pete, actually, but he told me, so everybody calls me Petey. He rented it every October. He came over here, and he stayed there. And then January, February, March, after that first year, the people that rented it that first year were from Canada. And after that, that was it. That was all the advertisement I needed, because the people from Canada every year said they said, keep the deposit. We want it next year too. And so they came every year for January, February, and March. I never raised the rent on them. I never felt the right way to, people said I should start doing that, but I said, no, I don't feel right doing that. And then October, Petey always took it in October. I wouldn't rent it out in November, December, because everybody wants it for a week, maybe 2. They always want to come down the week before or after Thanksgiving, or they always want to come down the week before or after Christmas and then leave. Nah, I just wouldn't do that. So if you didn't take it for a whole month, you didn't get it. Now, if you want to rent it for a whole month and only stay in it for 2 weeks, that's up to you. But I just wouldn't do it that much. So Sue came down, and I came down. We started coming down at Thanksgiving for a week or two. And there was once or twice we came down for Christmas because we wouldn't rent it out. So I used it myself. Now, that's what I did. I can't speak for everybody else. I wasn't in it to make the money. But I knew that the rent that I got in January, February, and March would pay all the bills all year long, and I didn't have to fork in my pocket to pay amenity fees and stuff like that. I didn't have to do that, and that's the only reason why I done it. Yeah, there's one in Alabama. They're all over the place. The one that's in Alabama is Robertsdale, Alabama. Exit right there. I've been there lots and lots of times. That's the first one you hit across 10. And then you won't hit no more Buc-ee's until you get over by Texas. That's the only one. So going that direction, I can't hit all Buc-ee's. But going to Indiana, the way they're spacing them out, and, you know, it looks like I'm going to be able to make it all the way to Indianapolis anyway, hitting Buc-ee's. I'm going to have to fuel up there if I want to bring the same route back so I can make it to that first Buc-ee's heading back south. $16, $17 in the summer. Yeah, see, that's less than half. Today, that same patio villa that I rented out for $3,200, I met a guy up there that's the same neighborhood that he remembered us from having that house. He said they're getting $4,000 right now for January, February, and March. So $1,600, so that's less than half. So if you can find one, you know, they'll let you have it for that price. And in the area that you're interested in, you know, go for it. Porch sitting with me and Sue, Mr. Bush. Yeah, we do it on Wednesdays. Cold beer or 3. I haven't drank a beer out there in quite a while, really. No. As a matter of fact, the last couple of them, I think, been out there because we had that cold snap that came through. I think I drank coffee out there. Hot summer, you might see me out there with a beer or 2. There's no doubt about that. I'm sitting in here now, getting ready to close this out, drinking some of Phil's wine, or drinking some of Sue's medicine. All right, I'm gonna close this out. This has been long enough. We're not talking about the news anymore. Now we're just rambling. The truth of it is, I think this is going to be the last skip the news I'm going to do. This ain't working out the way I wanted it to work out. It's just turning into a ramble session about talking about campers and stuff. So nothing wrong with that. But this is just not what I wanted to do. So I appreciate all the super chats and everything. But I think Skip the News is going to retire after today. We'll dream up something else. We'll find something else to do and work on. And but till then, we're just going to move on. See you guys later. I'll see you on the other side. And thanks for coming and thanks for joining.